Is it okay to reschedule on a podcast interview? Well, there's rescheduling and there's rude scheduling. Hi, this is Tom Schwab with Interview Valet. And often we get either guests asking us or they're asking, can I reschedule this? Or they're outraged when a host reschedules a podcast interview for them. Now, remember, we all have lives. Things happen. I've been on over 1,200 podcast interviews. Have I rescheduled some? You bet. I'd guess over a dozen. I can remember the time where I got the call that my daughter was in the emergency room and I had to go there. I can remember another time where I was just sick. I was coughing. There was no way I was going to be a good interview guest. So there are exceptions. Life happens. We understand that. But there's a certain point where you reschedule so often or so commonly that it goes from rescheduling to rude scheduling. And let me give you an example here. What if someone invited you to their home to meet a bunch of friends? They were so excited to introduce you to their friends, or maybe you were coming to speak at their company because they really just wanted to highlight you. Well, and then you call them up and you say, well, I've got to reschedule. Okay. If there was a reason, there'd be even better on that. But what if it happens twice? What if it happens 3 times? I guess after it happened twice, I would just think, they really don't want to do this. They're telling me that they're not interested in it. They're not as excited as I am with this. Or maybe they're just not professional. Either way, all of a sudden that invitation would either get pulled or it wouldn't work with my calendar. You see, there's a difference between rescheduling and rude scheduling. And this is something we talk about in our standard operating agreements with our guests. We understand that life happens, but you need to be professional to show up. And when you make a commitment to be at a podcast interview, to be there. Now, hosts the same way. If we've got a podcast host that is continually canceling on our guests or rescheduling, guess what? We don't start introducing them to new guests. It's like, if they're not going to respect the commitments, then we won't either. You see, it's a two-way street. Both people have to be professional, but both people have to be understanding also. So I'd ask yourself the next time that you're like, oh, I've got to reschedule this. Ask yourself, is this going to be seen as rescheduling or rude scheduling? The difference could be huge for you on what opportunities you get in the future.